For you guys, defending champs at this great tournament at Southern, and you go out and you win it again. What was so impressive about your team's performance this week in Manahawkin?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I thought we've been struggling on defense a little bit in the past couple of games before that. I thought we really looked pretty good on the defensive end past two games. Thought the way we mixed up our scoring a little bit was nice to see up there too. Obviously, everybody knows about Kylie and she's going to score a bunch. But and the other, the secondary scores that we had in both games are kind of mixed, which is something we talk about all the time. We want to make it more difficult to defend us as a team. Yesterday, Georgia Shane came out and had 8 points in the first quarter, which is huge for us in terms of just building a lead and, probably something that Southern hadn't really scouted against us or expected. So for her to be able to knock down shots like that was huge. In the game before, we had Gabby Boggs and Allie Nazarek go for 12 and 11 respectively. So just nice to have those complementary scoring pieces as well.
Mainland with a 54-40 win over Southern in the final, the championship game, if you will, at that score at the Shore tournament at Southern yesterday. Coach, let's back up a little bit before we get more into what happened this week. But you guys kicked things off this year a little bit differently. You went down south, down to Florida, and played some games down there. What was that trip like, not only on the court, but in terms of team bonding and sort of growing together as a unit?
It was tremendous. Anytime you're bringing 15 teenage girls anywhere, there's going to be some things you're a little bit nervous about. And I know I certainly was, but they're such a special group. Everybody talks about them as basketball players, and they are a special group of basketball players, but they're just outstanding kids. And they're just such a treat to take down there. They just had so much fun. They're really enjoyable to be around, even for the coaches. We had a great time just hanging out and spending time with them, going on the rides, riding the buses back and forth in the parks. And then the basketball side of it was outstanding as well. We ended up, playing against a couple of teams that were well into their season. It was the start of it was our first games of the year. We played a team from Texas, and our first real game of the season. The team we were playing from Texas was playing their 16th. And then we turned around the next day and we played a team from a team called Bishop Ludden from Syracuse, New York, which has a Michigan point guard commit on it. And that was just an outstanding game for us, too, back and forth. And we ended up winning both of them. So the basketball side and the team bonding side, all of it was just a really great way to kick off the year.
Checking in right now with Scott Betson, head coach of the Mainland girls basketball team, off to an outstanding start here in the 2017-2018 school year. Coach, obviously high expectations for your squad this year. Kylie Watson, widely considered one of the top players in the state. She played on the national team for her age group over the summer and obviously got great experience there. So, with all of these expectations and based on all the returning players you have, I guess the pressure can sort of mount. What did you say to your team maybe before the season started to maybe temper that or maybe take the focus away from what other people expect and maybe put it back on, just what the team can control?
Yeah, we actually talked about the whole expectations thing. The first full practice we had, we kind of had a meeting for about a half hour in my classroom. We just talked about it, and they knew that it was out there. We didn't have any seniors last year. We brought everybody back, and Kylie obviously brings a lot of attention as well. But our message was basically that really nothing that anybody says or thinks that's not involved in our group, none of that really matters. The only opinions that matter are the people that are in the room, people who are on the gym floor with us every day, because they're the only ones who really know what it is that we're trying to do. And our group knows that last year we had an opportunity, we came up short, and so the only thing that matters to them is just trying to compete in every game and win a South Jersey or maybe even beyond titles this year. And, we know that the only way that we're going to get there is we hold ourselves to the expectation that matters. So we really do try to tune all that stuff out. I know a lot of that sounds like coach speak, but it really is a reality for us, too. We don't really focus on any of that. We just talk about, what our own expectations are. And we've actually had a couple, interesting conversations with the seniors, especially just about how our own expectations have evolved over the past couple of years. When these guys were freshmen, our expectation was trying to make it into the Cal tournament, trying to get a couple of home playoff games. And, their own expectations just for themselves have just grown so far beyond that. So that's a really nice thing to have your own expectations be set so high. So we try to focus on that stuff.
Kylie Watson, obviously still only a sophomore, but so much great experience for her over the summer, playing overseas or in South America in this national team format for her age group. And in your eyes, obviously a great player last year as a freshman, but based on her experiences over the summer and then over the most recent AAU circuit, how much better has her game gotten? It was already pretty good as a freshman, but what sort of steps has she taken now as a sophomore? I know she was tournament MVP at the Score at the Shore, 24 points yesterday, but I know affecting games in many more ways than just the scoring column.
She certainly does. I mean, there's so much you can say about Kylie. I mean, the thing that's really going to go underrated is just she's such a great kid. She's so nice and so humble, and all this attention is kind of ironic for her, because if you know her at all, you know that she's not a kid who's looking for any of that. In terms of watching her develop over the summertime, I think the biggest development for me are some of the intangible sides of the game. Just her learning to understand the game a little bit more, and then her being more vocal. She'll tell you that that's the thing that she took back from that experience the most, just about how important it is to just to communicate and be a leader out in the court. And I think last year, because she's such a nice kid, she was a little bit nervous about stepping on toes. She knew there's some upperclassmen that had been there and been playing, and she didn't want anybody to think that she was coming in trying to take anything over. So she was kind of more quiet and more reserved, but she's more comfortable now. She's more ingrained with the girls, and she runs the show for us out there in so many ways. She understands what we're trying to do, and she's directing traffic for us, not just in games, every day in practice. And like you said, she affects the game in so many ways. I mean, I said it yesterday to somebody, she can defend all 5 positions on the floor. And not only does she put in, 20 plus points on the offensive end, but she's really, in every game we've played so far, been able to take whoever the other team's leading scorer is and erase their average down at least by half, if not more than that. So, just the swing and the scoreboard from one end to the other is just outstanding. And she's all the things that she can do.
Mainland girls basketball coach Scott Betson checking in with us right now on the South Jersey Sports Report. And Coach, we back up even further here, and I have to ask you about this, but there was a little bit of doubt this offseason whether you would even be back as head coach of this team. The job was open, and when the dust settled, you were still the head coach for the Mainland girls basketball program. So with all of that sort of uneasiness and unsettling stuff really during the offseason, how much more rewarding is this start that you guys are off to, and sort of the way this team has come together and sort of almost, I don't want to say rallied for you, but certainly they're proving the decision makers made the right decision in keeping you in charge of this team.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of this, any of that is really about me. I think it's really about these kids. And even when all that went on, the thing I came out with most is I'm just really excited to coach a great group of kids. They're really nice kids. They come from great families, and I'm just really excited that I get to spend more time with them.
All right, Coach, so we'll get you out of here on this. Obviously, a big week at Southern. You win the Score at the Shore for the second year in a row, but the schedule doesn't get any easier. I know we're going to get into more of this later, but the Seagull Classic is back, and this is next weekend, and you get Gloucester Catholic in that event. I mean, with a team with high expectations like we talked about and so much talent, you're going to get some of these showcase opportunities. How much are you looking forward to not only that matchup, but some of these other high-profile games where there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on your squad on the court?
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. I don't know if it's so much about the eyeballs on the team, but I think it's more so just us knowing that we want to go into teams that are going to be really tough and we want to compete. I think that our message has to be, not to get any one of these matchups too overblown. It's just they are just another game on our schedule, but we really look forward to opportunities where we know we're going to get strong competitive teams, and we like to take something out of every game, something that we're going to focus on, something that we need to work on one way or another. So we're really excited about that. Gloucester Catholic's off to a terrific start. The next day, actually, we go up to Philadelphia and we play Paul VI at another event 24 hours later. So. That would be a big weekend for us, and hopefully, leaves us ready for some of the tough matchups down the road.
All right, Mainland girls basketball off to a fast start. Tournament champions at the Score at the Shore with a 54-40 win over Southern, and obviously a lot of big matchups coming up as well for the Mustangs. Head coach Scott Betson, thanks for taking the time. Happy New Year, and good luck to your team as we head into 2018.
All right, thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you as well.
All right, you got it. We'll be back.